This is Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust you'll consider this as your vitamin or supplement for your mind and heart. And wherever you receive podcasts, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom and leave a rating and a brief written review? It would be very, very helpful. It will enable others to be able to locate this podcast. And if you'd like to get on my calendar, see if there's any possibility of us working together to see if I can help you, coach you, help you as you're working toward your dreams and goals in the area of leadership, goal setting, and productivity, go to drronblake.com/call, get on my calendar, and I will give you a call. It was Socrates who is purported to have said, "The unexamined life is not worth doing." As important as it is to have a morning routine and to get yourself in the habit of taking positive steps in the morning to get yourself set for the remainder of the day, if you don't lose those hours early, you don't spend all day looking for those moments. But another area that I've noticed that many people are missing out on is maybe an evening routine, which let's call it something else, a daily evaluation report. For it's not just enough to do, it's not just enough to have plans, it's not just enough to have a task list, a to-do list, items on your calendar, projects you're seeking to move forward. At the end of the day, or at some particular pre-agreed upon time, you need to really go over things to see how are things progressing. Am I in fact doing the things that I say I'm going to do? You see, by marrying the morning and then the evening evaluation period keeps me on task for when I know that I have committed to certain things during the day. And then there is that human tendency when life gets a little bit challenging to think, well, even though I knew this was something I wanted to do today, I would rather not do it or do something else or just sort of take some time off. And there's appropriate times for doing that. I have discovered that one of the things that will keep me on schedule is the fact that I'm going to be asked by that myself. I'm going to hold myself accountable tonight. Did I do the things today that I said I was going to do? Especially, did I do the things that I said were significantly important? Or is it just a bunch of words on paper or a bunch of thoughts in my head, but that I don't really ever execute or take action on them? Now, the evening routines are crucial for a few reasons. Let's look at them briefly. I've talked about them before. The very first thing is every plan has to be evaluated, and this is where I'm going to spend some time right now. There are lots of evaluative tools out there. There is a planner that I'm using now that as an evening journaling portion asks me to evaluate, look at, and then ask myself some hard questions about the day. One of those is, what was something that happened today, a moment, a meeting, a interaction with a person? What is something that really made you happy, that you really appreciated, that you really felt good about? I think it's important not to just be asking everything in a negative. Where did I mess up? What did I let fall through the cracks? What did I not do that I said was significant and that I was going to do? But rather, stop and look at what was the thing you intended to do today, you said you were going to do, you even made plans and probably more than likely took some preparation for it, made some preparation for it. And what did you appreciate about it? There are times that I have written things or what felt good about it. A lot of times just nothing more than doing it, especially if it's one of those big items, one of those frogs you have to swallow. I have found that when I come to my time of reflection and evaluating on my day, that after the fact, I really appreciate the fact that I took an action that I wasn't looking forward to, that was not easy, but was important and I had to do it. And you get a sense of euphoria at times, and other times just a good sense of accomplishment. If you don't have a plan in your life to evaluate what you're doing, to reflect on what you're doing, you are just continually, almost like a rat on a wheel, trying to get things done. It's good to take some time out and to evaluate it and to feel good about the accomplishment. This is why I do what I do. This is why I set goals. This is why I write things down. This is why I do work in time chunks. This is why I get up early in the morning and start on my day and start on my projects. Go ahead and give yourself an atta girl, an atta boy, a congratulations. It's okay to feel good. Another question that you could ask is, what is a task or a project that I was really happy with the way I handled it? By that, it could be something as simple that I made up my mind on my calendar that I was going to dedicate a minimum of 25 minutes of concerted, concentrated time and work, and I did that, and I was almost surprised how much I was able to accomplish in that 25-minute distraction-free concentration on getting that done. Or perhaps a situation that had been somewhat volatile. You didn't know how it was going to turn out, but you listened to both sides. You didn't offer as much advice as you allowed them to, and you helped to mediate and brought the two parties together. I mean, that could be a situation that you handled. That you just handled the stress. You kind of knew the night before and the day as you were going into it that you were in for a stressful, busy day, but you handled it with aplomb. You were able to function effectively, and you got accomplished what you were seeking to get accomplished. It's all right. It is necessary. I'm going to even say it's vital that you stop and evaluate, so the next time when you're facing a difficulty, you won't be quite as frightened of it, for the simple fact that you have now in your memory bank that when you do the hard work, you prepare for it, you do it, even if everything doesn't go according to plan, even if there are things that arise, for the most part, you get it accomplished, things happen, it moves things forward, you can feel good. One of the great evaluative questions that you ought to ask yourself at the end of the day is, what was something I learned today? Oftentimes, it may be that you learn something about yourself. You may learn something about your coworkers, your family, your neighbors, whoever it is that you're interacting with. It may be that someone tells you a story or gives you a fact that you weren't aware of, and you really learned an important piece of information. Something I realized. It could be something as simple as the compound effect of taking positive action day by day does really lead to appreciable results. Or it could be when you handle the tough things right away, I realize it really does psychologically, emotionally help you. It could be a million different things, but it's good at the end of the day to evaluate, well, what was something I came to understand today or that I learned? Now, again, there are some opportunities for improvement. Every day, each and every day, you and I are presented with opportunities that'll either make us bitter or will get better. So what is something that you learned today that I could have made this day much better? It could have even been a more awesome day than it was if I had done this or I had not done this. This is such an extremely important tool. I cannot overstate its importance. If you just continue to do and do and do, and you never stop to evaluate, first of all, you don't know if you're actually accomplishing things or you're taking the actions that are going to move you towards your goal. You don't know if you're improving. You don't even know if you're regressing or not unless you really take the time and have with yourself an evaluative tool. What is something I could have done that would have made the day better? Perhaps it's a personnel issue. Perhaps it's something in the matter of preparation. Perhaps you have come to understand that if I'm going to work on a project in a time chunk, I have to do a better job the night before gathering all the data, information, and things that I need and able to concentrate and focus. If you're going to spend your time chunk looking for things, trying to find things, searching the internet, that's wasted time. You need to do as much of that ahead of time. Whatever it is that you could make the day better, get up early. It could be, again, just like the others. It could be 100, 1,000 different things. But if you know you're going to ask yourself this, it will help you to pay attention to life as you move through the day. I also have, at the end of the day, this idea of, did I connect with the people that are important to me? By that, I mean, did I connect to my family? Did I connect to my loved ones, my friends? Did I connect with the people I work with? Or did I just charge ahead and forget about people? What I'm basically saying is, it's great to be focusing on projects and tasks, and those are important, but don't do that to the neglect of touching people and having contact with people and feeling those connections with people. If you were someone else observing someone else's life, what would you say to that person about their day? In other words, what would a neutral party, maybe even a coach or a friend or a mentor, if they were played a highlight film from your day, what would their word of advice be to you? I think that's a significant way to think about it. Oftentimes, it's going to be something positive. See, you are making a difference. See, you are able to put these things together. There might be a time where there's a corrective element in it, but not necessarily. Don't just beat up on yourself for the fun of it. You see, then after you have had an evaluation, because again, it's Socrates who said a life has to be evaluated. It's not worth living. Then the evening should be a time that you get ready for tomorrow. Now, you may not be as regimented as I am. I get everything ready the night before. If I'm going to the gym, which I mostly do, I'm going to pack my gym bag. I lay out my clothes. I get everything together. I get the water bottle. I'm all ready. I've already talked about reviewing today. The night before, identify what are the 3 most important tasks that I will not go to bed tomorrow evening until I have gotten them accomplished. And a minimum of 1 of the 3 must move me toward a goal. Again, I always say this. There are more than 3 things on my to-do/task list, but I prioritize them, and there are 3 that I will not go to bed tomorrow night until they are done. The other thing I want to say to you, I think one of the easiest life hacks that's most neglected in our world today is make sure you get enough sleep. Turn the television off, get away from the screens, and get a good night's sleep. I think your productivity, all of our productivity, goes up when we get the proper amount of rest. We live in a society where we think we can burn the candle at both ends, and it really doesn't make a difference. I think one of the greatest gifts you can give, not only to yourself, your family, your friends, and where you work, but mostly to yourself, is get the proper amount of sleep. I also use that nighttime, especially when I'm not in meetings or traveling, which I do probably half of the work evenings. An evening routine helps me to quiet my mind and heart so that I can be prepared to get that good night's sleep. If you've been running hard all day, you have had a lot on your mind, you've had a lot on your plate, there are a lot of issues there. don't allow it to spill over into keeping you from getting a good night's rest. Whether it's through prayer, Bible reading, reading of other books, listening to music, I do something to kind of get myself in a calm state and to quiet my mind and heart before I sleep. You need to have an evening routine, especially do not leave out the part of evaluating the day and preparing for the next day. You're listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust today this has been like a vitamin or supplement for your mind and heart. And however and wherever you receive podcasts, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, leave a rating and a brief written review. It would be so helpful. If you'd like to get on my calendar and have a conversation to see if I'm able to come alongside and help you in the areas of leadership, goal setting, and productivity, help you get unstuck, help you move forward, go to drronblake.com/call. Get on my calendar and I will give you a call. Remember, my leadership friend, you are doing better than you think you are. You are making a big difference. Do not forget it. And until next time, this is Dr. Ron saying, have a great and blessed week.